Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
What is the difference between an expat and a migrant? Today, we're answering that question, so let's start. And the answer of this question, and it's gonna sound awful, but it's the truth, is that the expat people don't have pity for expats. So, be an expat, don't be a migrant. What happened is that I'm not talking about Venezuela, I'm talking every place on the world. So what happens is that usually the migrants are economic migrants. Not all migrants are economic migrants, but most of them are economic migrants. And what happens is that usually they are looking for opportunities on the receiving country. So what happens is those migrants arrive to any given nation and they are looking for opportunities. And in most cases, migrants are assets for the receiving country. Just think it this way. The migrant usually is people that are already educated. I'm not talking they have PhDs or something like that. I'm talking that they don't require basic education. They already know how to read, how to write, how to behave, how to do basic math, you name it. They know how to work. Usually they have some sort of skill. Most likely is labor. In many cases, sadly, is low value skills like cooking or maybe customer service or, the typical cliche of the mind. Very good. But still, most cases are valuable people, are less likely to commit crimes, are more likely to be entrepreneurs, 3 or 4 times more likely that the population, the domestic population. So they are a net positive for the receiving country. However, I have to say most people in these countries, not most people, but there is a very high threshold of people on the receiving country that is very ignorant and they are bigots and racist and xenophobic. And also politics. On politics, many politicians like to use migrants as scapegoats. For instance, on the United States, the Republican Party, many politicians on the Republican Party, they are racist and xenophobes and a little bit ignorant and idiots. I'm not saying I'm a Democrat. I'm not saying that. But most likely the Republicans are idiots on the situation regarding migration. They don't know anything about it, or they just know, but they are douchebags dealing with that. And they hate migrants because they say they take away jobs and they misbehave and they commit crimes. And of course, in some instances, they commit crimes, but it's very proven that the domestic population commits more crimes than the average migrant. Okay, I'm not doing this video to defend migrants, but the situation is they are diminishing the value of the migrant that usually wants to contribute to the society. They pay taxes, they work hard, they do the jobs that most people on that country, on the receiving country, don't want to do. Low-end jobs, low-skilled jobs that at the same time pay very low, and the average population don't want to do it. Same case in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Spain, the rest of Western Europe, and so on. And it's a sad situation for a lack of knowledge, because when you have a very good legislation in order to receive legal migrants, that's the situation. In many of these countries, it's next to impossible to legalize as a migrant unless you are very rich, and of course, it's not the case with the migrant. And also, you have to mention that Brexit on the UK happened because ignorance and bigotry and xenophobic reasons because they don't want the migrants from the European Union. Of course, there are some other reasons. There are legitimate reasons because the EU is not working very well and is extremely bureaucratic. But still, the main issue regarding Brexit was migration and xenophobia from the British citizen and the politicians that proposed the Brexit on the first place. And actually, I remember the negotiations with the European Union, and they were trying to cut a deal, and basically it's just keeping everything like they did before, except migration. And the EU say, go F yourself, you're gonna accept our migrants. Well, regardless of the case, the migrants are on a very soft and weak position when they arrive to their new country, and they are received with pity in the best case and with contempt and despise on the worst case, and that happens a lot. And you see cases where the domestic population, someone from the domestic population just murders or do a lot of horrible things to a migrant just for the sheer fact they are migrants. So it's very sad. Anyway, the thing is, when you are an expat, you arrive on a very good position because you're an entrepreneur, you're an investor, you have some money to either spend or invest on the receiving country, and usually the people just roll over the red carpet for you, the expat that is arriving to any given country. So try your best to be an expat and not to be a migrant. It's hard to say it. I know it's awful to say it, but please don't be a migrant. Be an expat. Work very hard, and regardless of the situation that you're an expat or a migrant, just do your best. And if you are arriving to a new country because you are looking for opportunities, you work very hard, and the sad fact is that your success on a new country is not gonna depend to you. You need to work hard, of course, but the odds are not usually on your favor. So that's why going to another country requires effort and requires being resilient. So with that note, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.